Feel like okay, well you can get into it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, no worries. So, I mean, first off, how's your day going so far and all that?
Man, my day is going completely good, man. It's nice outside. The weather is not really cold or anything like that. So I guess we're going to be getting back into the cold weather. But for right now, I am enjoying the perfect weather right now. So
Hell yeah. Do you live in Florida still?
no, I never ever lived in Florida. I live in PA.
Really?
Yeah,
PA. Okay, wow.
yeah. Where did you get that I live in Florida at?
I saw your videos, I saw your passion. I mean, when I was watching your videos, I'm thinking this man has walked the streets of Florida and he knows how pissed off people would be to see this stuff happening. That's honestly what I thought, but
Right.
I guess I don't know. I guess you're just empathizing with it. So you're completely from born and raised in PA?
Well, I was born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy forever, forever. But I moved to PA to get a better life from the violence and all that stuff that came with the city. Living in the city is Trenton, New Jersey is a bad city. And since I've moved to PA, I've been having a great life. I don't have to watch my back 24/7 like how I used to. So I'm pretty much content with peace, you know. So
That's awesome. So, how would you describe, I guess, your early life? What kind of formed the morals that you have now? Because you seem to have pretty strong morals.
thank you. Well, I was fortunate to be in a house with a mother and father. And I have well, it's me, my brother, and my sister. We all have the same mom, same dad. Um, you know, I was always taught to treat people with respect, always taught to not hurt people. You know, you can't live life hurting people. And growing up, I had a pretty kind of hard life. I was battling homelessness and stuff like that, and it was very bad growing up that way. Mind you, my mom and my dad, they used to struggle. You know, when they used to have to go to the grocery store, they had to walk miles and miles to the grocery store and then miles and miles back with the groceries. And you know, seeing that kind of stuff helped my motivation to where I want to do better than them. But I'm glad that the struggle that they had, it taught me and molded me to be the man I am today.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you have a very powerful past that's driving you. I mean, I can reflect a lot. I grew up in a more poor household as well, and it doesn't sound like I had um, quite the same issues, but
Right.
I understand what you're saying, and it sounds like that really is what led you to have the drive that you have now, which is what I think drives people to your channel.
Right.
Um, so, what do you think? Do you have any early interests you think that have kind of brought you to where you are now?
Well, I'm not really see. I've always dreamed to have a channel, or I always knew that my life was going to be um I was going to be the type of guy to help someone. You understand what I'm saying? And can you ask the question again? I'm so sorry. I just started it going off on some other stuff.
It's okay.
Question again. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Essentially, I'm curious as to how your early interests, like what you did early in your life, how that kind of evolved into you starting your YouTube channel and getting to where you are now.
Well, I used to love to drawing. That was my favorite thing to do, and I've been drawing for a long time. I haven't been doing it recently. It's not that I don't love it no more, but I chose my art and drawing to making music. So making music is my passion. That's what I do. I just love making music. I love to make music to help people out. It's just something that's just me. I just love to help people. So that drove me from the art then to I'm making music, and I've always dreamed to have a channel, you know. And I didn't used to want to go through the struggle, meaning having 3 subscribers or 20 subscribers or 30. How am I going to get the world to know who I am? You understand? And it worked. It worked. Just me being who I am, the morals I've been taught, it helped me to reach the world. And I don't have that many, but I remember when I had 63 subscribers and it dropped down to 6. I remember I had 60 something subscribers and it dropped down to 6. And now I'm up to like 3K something, you know, and I'm just glad. I'm really blessed to be where I'm at now. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think your channel is an amazing story personally. I love how now you're to the point where you're doing donations, and
Right.
all the donation, it's all going towards the cause, you're not making a penny off of it. I love that idea that you have. And I can tell, from what you're saying, it seems like you're very interested in like, I wouldn't say healing, but that part of life that is difficult. You're interested in helping people through that. You know what I mean? Trials and tribulations, they come to everybody, and it seems like you're the kind of person who wants to be there for those people. So
Most
I
definitely.
do appreciate that, really.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, man.
So yeah, no worries. So do you think that you've always had a vested interest in, I guess, not necessarily law enforcement, but more like just law in general? Do you think that that's always been anything alluring to you at all?
Well, let me. I want to get into this real fast. It's uh, the law. I always wanted to know the law, and I'm starting to learn as I go. The reason why I started doing this and trying to figure out the law and do stuff like that because I got my rights violated. And now that I sit back now and think about it, it's like, oh, I could have did this or I could have done that. But now I can use the mistakes that I did to help somebody else. So that way, if they ever come in that situation, they have the tools to do it, you know. But I used to not like law enforcement at all. I had a grudge because I was always bothered by them, by the way I look, where I was from, because I have long dreads. I got fearless tatted on my throat, and I got a whole bunch of tattoos. And the officers used to look at me like a thug. That's how they did it. And there is so many times I was going to the store and could have been at the wrong place at the wrong time. And before you know it, you see sirens and shotguns and Glocks pointed at you. So I said, you know what, man? First of all, I have to stay out of trouble. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I continuously do. I continuously stay out of trouble. But now I know I have the tools to help, you know. So now I'm to the point where cops, I don't really have problem with cops. I praise the good cops and I stick my middle fingers up to the cops that's doing bad. That's just how I feel about it now.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Well, I mean, I can't say I disagree with you there. Of course, there are good cops, there are bad cops. You know, I don't know. Do you consider your channel like, I don't like to use the word political, but do you consider your channel like apolitical in the sense of more about the individual actions, or do you think your channel makes a statement about anything political?
Well, I'm not really too much into politics because there are so many channels that are like that. The
Mhm.
the objective of making this channel was to speak raw, not politically, but to be raw. Because sometimes people don't gravitate to the political talk. They just don't gravitate to that. You get what I'm saying? And they want
True.
to hear the truth. They want to hear the uncensored truth. And it's like I always say, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think they gravitated to this channel because they feel sincere that I'm really sincere. And it
Mhm.
and it's really appreciated because we don't really talk politics like that. You know, the only time we did a little bit of politics on the channel was I asked who'd you voted for, and I have a lot of Trump supporters, as like I call them kings and queens. I have a lot of them on here, and I have a lot of Biden supporters too. But we can come up in the chat and we just talk. So to be political, I don't want the channel to be political. You know, we all are Americans. We all have to the right to pick and choose who you want to pick in this country. So that's how I pretty much come off with the channel.
Good. And so we kind of touched on a little bit in your earlier answer. You said that the entire point of your channel is to talk raw, is to give them the thoughts and ideas that nobody else wants to say. You know, people just assume it's not worth saying, or they just talk over the meat of the subject. So when you started the channel, that it's always been about being raw. How do you think your channel has developed around that idea?
Well, when I first started the channel, I wanted it to do audits, First Amendment audits, but there were so many bad frauditors. That's what I call them. But for some reason, my channel took a turn. I really was going to go out here, get a camera, and pretty much do the same thing they did until I started realizing like some of them is here to help and then some of them is not. And I don't want to be labeled as one of those frauders. So I said, you know what? There has to be other ways to do this. So I'll basically see a video, whatever the case may be, and I can see something bad in it, and then I just break it down raw, uncut, and they just tend to like it like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that is one thing that sets your video aside, or your videos rather, aside from other people's videos, is it's instead of, you know, just little cuts of the actual video, it's the raw video. And you're standing behind it, you'll pause it when you want to talk, you'll play it when you want to listen. And I think it's a really interesting dynamic, you know, get on a lot of other channels. So are these like your favorite kind of videos to make then? Like the videos where it's just something going on, or what do you prefer doing things about police? What kind of videos do you like to create?
Well, pretty much the videos that I have on the channel, it has to be something great. Got to be something like, oh my God, like why, like what's going on? Like, oh my God. But it's not just about what I want for the channel. This is not just my channel. You understand what I'm saying? It's my supporters' channel as well. So when they want something, I give it to them. That's what I do. I give it to them. Whatever they want, they get. So there might be something that I want to do, but I ask them. I always ask them, do you want that? Do you want this? Some say no, whatever. And one thing, some people get mad at me too because I talk on the videos. They be like, dude, just play the video. You understand what I'm saying? And my message to them is, when you make a channel, how about you make a channel and you show me what to do? Because the kings and queens in the King's Palace, they love what I do. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what to tell them.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be people who just hate blindly. They just hate because it's fun to hate things, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when it comes to the we'll call it the Jeremy DeWitt portion of your YouTube channel, you don't feel like it's not that you feel like an obligation to make these videos. You like making these videos.
Correct. Yes, I do.
Okay. So I think now's the time, better than ever. I wanted to ask you, what was your absolute first impression of Jeremy DeWitt, known comfortably as Jeremy Dipshit, as they say?
And mind you, I'm gonna say this first, and then I'm gonna let you know. The King's Palace was the first one that said dipshit. My channel was the first one that called him Jeremy Dipshit. I promise you.
Coined the term. Hell yeah.
Yes. And now his name is known as Jeremy Dipshit. And I'm just so glad that his name changed from DeWitt to Dipshit. Some people call him Dinwitt and whatever the case may be. But when I first seen Jeremy, well, I'm gonna call him Dipshit. When I first seen Dipshit, I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Because I seen him with the uniform on. It looked like he got the police. He got the less lethal gun. He said he jumped in Fallujah. I'm like, oh my God, let me find out. Let's see who this guy really is. He's coming like he's the man of the year. Like, let's just check him out. And the more videos I seen, the more I started to dislike this guy, because he is a pedophile. And I don't know if you've just seen the interview that I just did with the guy. It goes to show to the guy, James, salute to James. He did something bad to him. So all of this stuff when I first seen him, I started hearing about all that stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try to put him on blast. So that's what I've been like basically making my mission to do, is just to pretty much end him. So
okay, so basically you kind of got the impression, I mean, of course, I think everybody does. You see him and initially just think, oh, this is just an idiot. Mm-hmm. And as you start to look into it more, you start to see all these pieces and all this money and all these people. And, you know, eventually you get to the real nitty gritty, where you realize that this man he's not just a pretend criminal or a pretend cop. This man he's a serious danger to the public. So, I mean, really, you know, yeah. Not only is he stopping people on the side of the roads, you can't even have your kids near this man. Like, this is just a walking danger. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess the question I would form out of that would be, like, at what point did you realize that this was a far bigger thing than just man pretending to be a cop with a bunch of fake guns and all that?
When I started to notice, like, all right, so it's like, bro, why are you trying to be the police? And all I've been seeing was new videos of him doing wiretaps. And then I started to look at his record. He has 64 charges since 1998 to 2020. How is he getting away with this? You get what I'm saying? How is he getting away? If that was me, I would have been under the jail. They would have threw the key away. I would have been in there. This guy is still out here raping people, ambulance. Like, come on, bro. Like, what? Like, what are you doing? What are you really doing? Why are you doing this? Why? And I came to the conclusion that he does this because he knows that his life is a piece of shit. His life is shit. And he wants to be somebody bigger than what he is. He sleeps. He doesn't sleep well, I promise you, because he knows all the things that he's done. And he's done nothing but bad stuff to people, and it's catching up to him now. It's catching up to him, and he can't sleep. And one other thing too, he is obsessed with this. He's obsessed with my channel. Do you know how many of like his friends, niece, nephew message me? Like, he's just an all around scumbag, man. He's just all around scumbag.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing your channel has done, which has been a monumental help, is show people the worst of Jeremy DeWitt. Because you see all that stuff out there. He's blocking traffic. He's banging on the hoods of cars. That's the best that you could see. That's him at his best, okay? Yeah. Him at his worst is this disgusting criminal, you know, running from the cops, just one step ahead, throwing up lawyers. Yeah. I mean, this guy is really, and what you said, I think, is really hit it on the head. What baffles me is how long this man has been able to get away with doing all this stuff. And there's not a person who's met him who doesn't know he's a crook. I just don't get it.
Right. It is crazy, beyond crazy. He's just getting away with it. But he getting away with it, but he not. Because the channel's like the King's Palace. It's channels like you that's now getting the message out now. Like, you know, we all have to put a stop to him. He is a predator and he doesn't deserve to walk the ground we walk on. So that's why I'm just going to make my mission to exploit everything. There's going to be more people that's going to message me. I promise you. And it's still going to be more and more videos of him. Don't ever think for 1 second when he go to jail that is over, that you're not going to hear nothing else. There are hundreds of videos of him acting crazy. So it is not done. It's not done.
I want to ask, just because I'm curious, do you think that there's redemption for Jeremy DeWitt? Do you think that he's redeemable?
No. Nope. No, he is not redeemable. When you molest 2 kids that we know of, there is no redeeming yourself. There is no redeeming. You are the scum of the earth and you deserve to rot in hell. And the people say it's not up to you to judge, it's up to God to judge. You understand? But if it wasn't for us to judge, then God wouldn't have made judges. You know, like we are control of the earth. We are control of the earth. He must pay for what he did to them kids. Forget all the banging on the cars, all that stuff. That's wrong too. But those kids at the time, man, he ruined their lives, man. So he is not redeemable at all.
Yes, and one thing that I just think is worthy of adding to the record is that it's not just, you know, and don't get me wrong, I think both of these things are abhorrent, unbelievable crimes. But before, he was in this situation where he's taking advantage of a young lady who doesn't know any better.
Yep.
Now he's manipulating children. I think that this is it's a whole nother level of, you know, now this man is planning and going out of his way and doing these, you know, disgusting, abhorrent acts. Like, you know, I know his time is up and I know the candle's burning fast, but my God, it needs to burn a little bit quicker.
Yes. Come on. And one more thing. There was a female in the ambulance that he did something to as well. So it's 3 people. It was probably one adult and 2 kids. You tell me, do you think that he is redeemable after that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I personally am under the impression that he is mentally ill. I don't think that excuses any of his actions. I think he needs to, you know, I think he needs to be evaluated. When you get to the point where your entire life is a lie, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, that's a different kind of person. You got different blood pumping in your veins. Something's going on, and it's easy to point and laugh, you know. And it's funny, you know. And I hope he goes to jail and he needs to pay for what he's done. Absolutely.
Right.
But on the same hand, you know, when we look at like how can we go to the future from this, right, my thought is when you see these people who they're starting to build these webs of lies, don't just abandon them. Don't just make fun of them. You got to try to nip this stuff in the bud because it starts off with funny stuff. You know, I mean, Jeremy DeWitt himself, all he did was he started off lying to people at a gas station to get a few bucks of extra gas. And it just slowly over time builds its way up. And now it's this disgusting web. And yeah, I don't think he's redeemable, but I do think that he's sick. I think he's very, very sick.
I believe so as well.
Yeah. So one thing that I do want to ask you, because this is a little bit harder of a question. The people that he works with, do you think that these people are bad, or do you think that they've been extremely manipulated?
I believe some of them are bad, and I believe some of them they got him to talk. Well, they got yep. They manipulated. Half of them and some of them know what's going on. Some of them know what's going on, but they still tend to surround themselves with him, which makes them just as much as guilty. But now that dipshit is in trouble, now all of them want to turn into some rats, snitches, because they don't want to get in trouble. You get what I'm saying? But it was all fun and games when you were doing it, when you were impersonating officers and banging on people's cars, telling them to stop here and do all this stuff. It was all fun and games. But no, yeah, man, I truly believe some of them, Jeremy dipshit got in their ear, some of them, and then some of them, they just said, well, I don't care. I'm just going, hey, man, I'm with it. I want to be a cop too, just like you. So let's do it. Like,
that's crazy. Have you, this may sound like a random question. Have you ever seen the documentary Tiger King? You ever heard of that?
yes, I've seen that. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. I get some serious Tiger King vibes from this man. I mean, think about it. He's trying to build up his empire. Okay. Everybody there's either people who he's manipulating or there's people who know what's going on and they're part of it and they're trying to make it worse.
Right.
He's constantly doing all this crazy shit with money. He's breaking the law in all these crazy ways. He's lawyering up all the time.
Yeah.
There's all this sketchy shit happening under the rug, people covering it up. This is like the next Tiger King, man. I mean, this guy is no joke. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised if they found out some really messed up stuff about this guy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that. And I'm not saying what we have now is disgusting, but if it gets deeper, I'm shocked, but I'm not surprised. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think it's going to get deeper, man. I think it's going to get more deeper than this. I think it's going to get real, real deep. And I'll be here to cover the story.
Yeah, true that. I mean, and I'll be here watching. So that James guy, I tell you what, he sounded fairly confident that what is out about him now is just pretty much the tip of the iceberg, that there's definitely more coming.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me and he has a little bit of insider information on that. So that was pretty telling to me.
Yeah, he actually emailed me. I didn't even know who this guy was. He emailed me. And he said that first he commented and said that he wanted to tell me something. I don't know if that's the exact words he said, but he said to me he want to talk to me. So I sent him my email, and the interview wasn't even planned at all. He just wanted to get his word out, and I just basically gave him the platform to speak.
Wow, and I think he really painted, like I said, a much different picture. It goes from a guy who's kind of a clown to a guy who's like, real messed up in the head. You see this guy on the street, you're not laughing anymore. You want to beat the crap out of this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But so I think going forward with your channel, obviously, this isn't over. There's more coming. There's more to be done. There's more to be covered. For the people who are watching and they get their blood boiling when they watch, and they hear your comments and they feel the same things that you're feeling. Mm-hmm. What do you think that the best thing would be for those people to do if they're really passionate about, getting rid of this guy?
I can't say do the same thing I'm doing because they don't really have a channel or a platform to do that. But the more they support me, the more the channel will go up, and the more people that see it. So I'm pretty much content with that. I have some loyal kings and queens, and I am forever grateful for that. So just basically support, man. The more you support the video, the more people gonna see it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, of course we're we have to support this video. When it comes to people who are covering news and stuff like that, there's a lot of bad apples out there who are just waiting to jump in and take advantage of the situation. You're not one of these people. You've been here since the beginning. You've been here since before that. And people need to know that putting their subscribe to you, putting their time into you, it's a worthy investment. It's something that they'll get back on and they'll see their comments come into fruition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess that's pretty much covers the majority of my questions. I think that it's been really nice to learn a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. What kind of brought you to it.
Yeah.
You always seemed like a pretty pretty morally centered gentleman. So I'm I'm not surprised that you had your good upbringing and everything like that. Um, so going forward with King's Palace, like what are your plans going forward?
I'm trying to build a foundation to pretty much help people. There are a lot of celebrities and people who just want to be the only one sitting on the top of the throne. But I'm making this channel to give people who wouldn't normally get a chance to where they can they can get a chance. People who lacks family and really don't have family, they can come to the channel, and they are now family. You get what I'm saying? So um there's going to be there is a lot of good things in the work, man. A lot of good things. I'm actually about to come out with a podcast too. So it's
Oh,
gonna
very nice.
it's gonna be a lot of good things, man. I am actually looking for. I have one person. I actually need another person for the podcast. So I'm currently looking around, man.
Hell yeah. Well, obviously, I'm really looking forward to that podcast. I hope you could plug it and everything. It's been amazing being able to talk to you today, and I really appreciate you making the time and everything, despite all these developments and breaking news and all that.
Hmm.
So, thanks again. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day, G.
You too, man. All right.
Peace.